Greetings, Moonlight citizens. This is your Moonlight King here with another episode of Moonlight Kingdom Reviews. A rather fitting episode for this podcast. It's one at around Steven Universe. Yeah, everything from Steven Universe, rose quartz, the gems, the diamonds, the whole, and the lessons that we take away from that show because there's a lot of those to be learned in that show. This was one of the first shows I remember recall watching back in the day where I could sit through an episode and be like, wow, like really feel like I learned something new, or like there's several aspects of the show back in the day and things that one can enjoy even now that apply even now that you can look back and really delve into things that you may have missed as a kid, but you can look back on as now older or as a later teen or an adult and look back on and say, huh, I missed that, but I'm glad I caught it. Like they weren't inherently designed with Easter eggs. I think it was made in a way that, if you're just a kid, you want bright colors and action and animated type characters, you can find that there. But if you're also an adult, you can definitely see hidden meaning and deeper thoughts and revelation going on in their themes, deeper themes in the text and the actions and visuals of the TV show. So yeah, this episode is going to focus a lot on Steven Universe, the stuff that we liked, the stuff we saw in the themes, characters such as Rose Quartz and her relationship with the Diamonds, her relationship with Pearl, Greg, and Steven Universe, and how fusions work. We're gonna cover fusions and stuff in here. So just the very concept of a fusion, like is we're not gonna delve that deep, but it's just like the very concept of a fusion is a beautiful thing. Normally in anime or popular media, when two characters fuse, it's purely for the purpose of strength or doubling up the power. Like with our powers combined, we can take on this great threat, and then they separate, and that's that. That's what happens when two powers fuse. That two characters fuse their powers in any other media, but in the world of Steven Universe, fusion is this beautiful thing between two people. It's this dance that leads to these two characters connecting, coming together to form this brand new being. It's not a case of two brains like operating different parts of a body as much as it is like this whole new person that's come into frame because of these two personalities, these two different souls coming together to create a new person. Like for for instance, like look at Garnet. Like Garnet is a fusion, and her character, even when she split apart, you do get like Ruby and Sapphire. You see them; they're each these individual people. It's not like, oh, Garnet's been split in half. This one's a tough one. This one's a softer one. It's like, no, they're their own individual people. But then when they fuse, it's not like, oh, Garnet is just this person who is both tough but also sensitive. She is tough and sensitive, but she's also all these other things. She is a whole new person. Like she's aware that yeah, she's a fusion. There's two people inside of me that came together and make one person. But you know, there's more to her than just, oh, I am a fusion or I am a person maintaining a fusion. Because also another thing that differs this show from other media that have fusions in it, is that a person can live their life as a fusion. Like Garnet lives life as a fusion. It's not a case of like in Dragon Ball when characters fuse, they can only stay fused for a certain amount of time before their energy like gets all burnt out and they have to split back. Like that's and unlike Dragon Ball, there's no creepy voice thing where you have the two actors talking at the same time. It's the two voices coming out because they're both taking up the same body. But yeah, it's really it's a beautiful thing, and it's like really so when done well between two consenting characters, it's this beautiful dance between the two that comes together to make a whole new person. You can look at it as an allegory for intimacy in relationships, but then you can, when it's between two people who aren't, like what's this symbiotic in that way, two people who aren't symbiotic, who don't mesh really well, and they do a fusion, or someone tries to force a fusion, it can come out twisted and gnarled and this abomination of a creature. It's very, there's a lot to look into in just and this is just fusions. This is just the topic of fusions. So there's a lot to look into when it comes to the world of Steven Universe, and so I give props to everyone who worked on that. Rebecca Sugar, I'd give props to her and the actors, the artists, and the people who made the music. Another thing that Steven Universe does like a lot better than other shows is its music. It was in a pretty sweet spot when it came out. It came out with shows like around about the time shows like Adventure Time and Regular Show and We Bear Bears. Like I love that show. That's another show with great music. But Rebecca Sugar, man, she was firing on all cylinders when it came to like this show's soundtrack because this show had some great songs. Regular Show, when they would do music like Mordecai and the Rigby's or something, they would sing a song like, yeah, there was some good things in there. Like there were some good songs in there. But when it wasn't original songs, it was mostly 80s music. But yeah, otherwise, Rebecca Sugar in this movie, there's this one that's like, take a moment to think of just flexibility, love, and trust. I love that one. That's a good one. Also, the song at the end credits, like, I could do about anything. I could even learn how to love like you. Damn, that was beautiful. I love listening to that song, man. Like, that was the song that made you. That was like, how you have TV shows where like, oh, you have like on Netflix, they give you the option to skip the opening credits. This and like, there's this meme of like, nah, I want to watch these opening credits every time. This song and on this show was the perfect show to be like, nah, man, I'm not skipping these end credits. Don't you dare touch that dial. I want to watch the end credits because I want to hear this song. I don't care that the end credits is just laundry hanging on the top of this giant hand. I want to hear this song, man. It's just that good. It's beautiful. There's so much in the show that's beautiful. So, yeah, we get into that. We're definitely going to delve into that and more on this episode of Moonlight Kingdom Podcast. Blast off in 3, 2, 1, boom. But,
Uh, you know what I watched recently?
what?
That like for some reason I just didn't like feel like I didn't like want to watch it because like of nostalgia. But like Steven Universe Future, did you watch it?
No, I ain't seen it.
Okay, so it's basically like they're all in the future now. Like what happened. They cool with the diamonds now. And basically, Steven is going through like a quarter life crisis, if you can even call it that. It's not even a quarter life crisis. He's 16 now. And basically, all the trauma, from all the shit he went through has accumulated and just bang, man. The floodgates are open. He's just going through it. And like, because like, obviously, there's no like immediate threat anymore, no one is jumping them anymore. Like, he has this issue where he only wants to feel needed. And, like, he feels like, okay, everybody is, like, leaving, going on their own lives. And his whole purpose during this time was to protect everybody, to be there for everybody.
But
and
now everybody's safe,
him.
so it's like, damn, what do I do now?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, he even proposes to Connie at 16. Obviously, she says no because, like, she's going to college, like, far away and stuff. And eventually, at the end of it, his big decision is he's going to move out and he's going to, like, explore the country, etc., etc. It's so sad, too. But, like, what I really like about Steven Universe is there's so much development. Like, like, it's realistic development, too. It's not like, okay, it's this go-lucky character, that's going on this adventure of friendship and love. And yes, okay, some of that is true. But it's very realistic. Like, he went through shit, man. Like, obviously, he's going to be traumatized by this. Like, his mother was literally like this intergalactic warlord who
I mean, the
said...
proper term is war criminal, but okay, go ahead.
Well, she was a warlord when she was Pink Diamond, and then she basically, betrayed her, the other warlords, and just, like, changed her entire identity into something, That's another thing. She chose to be Rose Quartz. People always say Rose Quartz is so big, or etc., etc. But she chose that, like, that body when she, like, shape-shifted. into from Pink Diamond. But anyway, she became like this war criminal fighting against the people she called sisters at one point. And, it's just a crazy story. Like, that is traumatic to learn your mother did that. Not to mention, like, I like the fact that they don't make out Rose to be like this, like, this upstanding person who's, this role model who's all about goodness and lights and doing what's right. Like, she did shit, man. To so many people.
She did. It definitely altered life for a lot of people back on the Gem homeworld.
Yeah, not to mention Pearl. Not to mention Spinel. You know who Spinel is, right? You watched the movie.
Nope.
Okay, so when she was Pink Diamond, you know her garden, Rose's garden? She had a
Yes.
playmate that the other diamonds gave her called Spinel. That's the stone, Spinel. And she was like a little pink, playmate. And she used to play with her and keep her entertained. And
Yeah,
then
she looked like
eventually,
XJ9 from My Life as a Teenage Robot, but pink.
yes, exactly. And then, while she was playing one day, the diamonds, gave her a call on their little, I don't know, their little system over there. And they were like, we decided we're going to give you Earth as a colony. And, like, she was, okay, I'm going to get to work now. And Spinel was like, oh, I'm so excited for you. Let's play, etc., etc. And she was like, hey, you know what game we can play? Who can stand still for the longest? And for 6,000 years, Spinel just stayed in the same spot, waiting for Pink Diamond to come back while she left there, started the Earth colony, betrayed the diamonds, fell in love with Greg, had Steven throughout this entire thing. Spinel just stayed there in that exact same spot. And the way she found out was when Steven, he got good with the diamonds, he like did a broadcast out, like a message to everywhere, everywhere, and it like picked up on the system in the garden. And then she found out, okay, this is what Rose Quartz has been up to. Like, Pink Diamond became Rose Quartz, and she went on this adventure, and she just forgot about her. And like, she actually came for revenge, where she wanted to like destroy planet Earth, but obviously, like, Steven stopped her with the power of friendship and love and stuff. But imagine that. Like, I thought that Pearl's story was bad because imagine, like, fighting, like, literally killing people for this woman that you love and believe in and who, who has changed you and changed your life so much. And then she chooses some filthy teenage wannabe SoundCloud rapper over you. You know what I mean?
I'd
But,
say
like,
he was more
Spinel's
of a garage band rocker than, anything, but yeah.
yeah. But like a Spinel story is crazy. Imagine just standing in one spot for 6,000 years, waiting for this person who became your whole world, you were literally made, to serve this person, and they just left you.
Greg is kind of bummy, but he ain't no. I mean, he's not. I wouldn't exactly say he's filthy.
I wonder. He lives in that van, But I mean, he owns a car wash. I'm sure he's taking some showers over there.
It would be ridiculous if he didn't.
True, true. But like that's what I mean, man. Like, I don't know, Rose was the devil. Honestly, I get why they liked her because like she made all of them feel special for like the time that they were with her. Like in terms of Garnet, like Garnet was very integral to the storyline. She made Rose like want to really fight for Earth as a place not only for humanity and for humanity to thrive, but also a future for diamonds who didn't want to follow the regular path that they were made for, etc., etc. But like, I don't know, man. She was just such a shitty person. She was very egotistic and narcissistic.
In some ways, it's parallel to like Superman's story in Man of Steel. like when they sent Superman to Earth, and it was like, you know, we're sending our kid to Earth, like he's gonna give the people of Earth like an ideal to strive towards, and it's this whole speech of like, you know, they'll stumble, they'll fall, but in time they'll join you in the sun. It's like, yeah, we're sending our kid to Earth away from our like war-torn planet so that he can live the life that he wants to live, as opposed to stay on Krypton and live the life that a life that he was made to live or bred to live, like how General Zod was bred to be a general. Like all the other Kryptonians were basically like the Codex in Man of Steel is used to like basically create people and give them assigned traits and characteristics that can be later used to benefit the society. So when they sent Kal-El to Earth, it was like, okay, you can be whatever you want to be. So you no longer have to be part of this, you know, this planet that we're a part of, no longer a part of this system where people don't have a choice in who they can become. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get you. That's exactly like the story about the gems, etc., etc. But like, it's it is what it is. Like, I don't know, man. It's like it's sad that she did the things that she did, but like at the end of the day, she was the catalyst that allowed them, you know, to make a life for themselves. Like they have something called little home world. Like, you know, like how you have little Germany or little China or little India. Like, you know, you get those little village places.
I don't
So they
think
have little home world
I don't think there's a place
in
called Little China. Isn't it Chinatown?
okay, Chinatown. But like that's what they have over there, and they basically they uncorrupted all the corrupted gems, as you know, and like obviously those gems don't want to go back to home world after what the diamonds did to them. So they go through like this habilitation, like school where they learn how to like live on Earth and be a part of human culture and society, etc., etc. It's very nice. And like Garnet and Pearl and Amethyst even are like teachers over there. It's cute. It's like a cute little happy ending. But like as I said, like obviously it's not going to be a happy ending because of like what Steven is going through, you know. So I like that they were realistic in the facts. It's not like everything's good with the universe, finished, done with. Like Steven is still a kid who's trying to find himself and grow into the person he's meant to be. So they keep it realistic. I like it.
In some ways, it kind of reminds me of
You know
Magneto
what's
and the
sad
island
though?
of Genosha. You know, like when
You know
Magneto
what's sad?
started that whole island of mutants, and like, okay, all the mutants who don't want to live amongst humans, you don't want to hide anymore. You can come live with us on this island, and you know, we'll just live our
Yeah,
lives free of ridicule. But yeah,
honestly,
just
all
because
these
they set
things
up
are
that
just like
island
copy and
doesn't mean
paste.
everything was perfect there too. So yeah,
You know, Sadie and Laws don't end up together.
figured.
No, that's so sad because like what happens is when he gets back, etc., etc., like they don't click again for some reason, and Sadie
What do
gets
you
in this
expect? A lot has changed. He's a different guy. She's a different girl. So much stuff has gone
and he
down.
just wants to go back into space. Like that's all he wants to do. I don't know. It's sad. Like they were supposed to be that cute little love story in the background, you know.
Says who?
They were meant for it. It says me. Okay, even Steven was upset. I understand why.
Eh.
I didn't like it. Well, obviously, like the main couple is Sapphire and Ruby. Like they literally got married. Like okay, they like the ultimate love story. You know, it's super cute. But I wish Lars and Sadie ended up together. That would have been so nice. You know.
Not every ship works out.
Whatever. And like their band, like Sadie and the Killers, like break up, and like she and this non-binary partner that she has um end up sourcing a band together. I don't like the ending of that whole thing, man. It just upsets me.
Is that right?
It just upsets me, man. I can't.
Well, it's a happier ending than one would otherwise expect.
I suppose so. I mean, Lord is king. He's going into space with his crew that he met on Homeworld, etc., etc. But it's cool. It's cute. It's a nice ending, but like I don't know. I feel like Laws and Sadie should have ended up together. But like in the thing, like Steven's freaking out because like he feels like he's losing all his friends. Sadie is gonna go to I forgot the other city that they have there. I think it's called Empire City. To go for like to try it for gigs, and Lawrence is going into space, and Steven is like all like upset because like he feels he's losing everybody, and they have like their own life paths now. What does he have left? And like, yeah, it's so sad, man. But I was like with Steven on this because like, why are they all breaking apart now, man?
It's like Transformers 3 when you think about it. You ever see Transformers
But
3?
no, I think
Well,
I have, but I don't know. Transformers is so old. I don't even remember the plot.
it was
All
the
I
same.
remember was Megan Fox.
Well, this doesn't have to do with the plot. It's just the story of like the Sam Witwicky character, like, and where the story begins. See, in the previous movie, it was like, yeah, this really weird thing happened. I saved the city and all that, but now I just want to live a normal life. But now in the third movie, it's like, okay, I've experienced what normal life is like, but at the same time, I'm also this person who saved the city, who's like actively saved the world now, and like normal life just ain't matching up to that. Like he wants to feel important again. When he was in the past two films, he was a key character. He was an important piece of the story. He helped save the world. There's nothing normal life can do that quite matches up to that. Like, he was getting a medal
That,
and he was friends with Optimus Prime. Now in this third movie, his biggest hurdle in the beginning is like, I mean, he's a guy who helped save the
you see,
world,
I
and yet
relate
he's
too
struggling to
much to
get a
that
job.
story.
Yeah,
You see, I relate too much to that plot line. And like, I've been doing my life coaching course. Like, I've learned things about myself. Like, number one, I learned I have abandonment issues, Reto. I have such bad abandonment issues. And
shit,
it
I could have
stems,
told you that.
okay, don't be nasty. And it stems from the sperm donor leaving me and my mom, like when we were younger.
It's unfortunate, but it's a very huge side effect that, well, the thing that I view it as is, as even as a kid, you perceive it as this person who is supposed to care about me and love me as much, if not more, than anyone else in the world up and left. Then, damn it, if this person can just up and leave, anyone can.
Then who's, yeah, exactly. Then who's all of these people around me? I don't know, man. But like, I've tried to like think about it. Like, trying to stop thinking about like my father as like a villain. Like, he also, he's like I don't know. Like what he did was obviously shitty, and I don't accept that kind of behavior. What he did to me and my mom. But at the same time, I just forgive him because like I want to let it go now.
Yeah, but then again, it's you do get this feeling like it's nice to be needed. So you make yourself as available as possible, because the idea like, hey, this person needs my help, and like I'm like at times you get this, I don't know, this main character type fault in you, like I'm the only person who can help, so that's why you're the one who always does.
I get you. I get you. But like I don't know. I always feel like I'm the therapist friend for everybody. But like, who has who do I have? Like nobody is there. I feel like you also are kind of the therapist friend in a way.
Don't
But
particularly
like, who's
enjoy that
there?
role, but okay.
But like, who's there for the therapist, man? Like, okay, obviously you and I are there for each other, but like, I don't know, man. Like, it's so suckish, man. It's so suck. But like, I'm trying to get over it. Like, I really am. Like, I'm trying to like be less available to people who like don't really deserve it. Like, the only person I really talk to or reply to like frequently these days is you and like my cousin and some other friends that like I'm more close to. But otherwise, like the majority of the people, like I read this message the other day of
Like one needs to understand, like, well, you often than not don't always need others to see you as important to feel important. Like you can sometimes find validation in the actions that you do on your own. You don't always gotta, like, thing is, it's nice to be needed, but you shouldn't rely on it. Like even like, well, to make circle back to a movie thing, like with that Sam guy, like Witwicky and the Transformers, like once Megatron was defeated, war was over, and it was like, okay, adjusting back to normal life. It's like, damn, I did all these amazing things, and now like nobody needs me anymore. Like my parents don't need me because I've moved out of the house and they're doing their own thing. Autobots don't need me. It's like even the girl I'm with doesn't need me because she's got a job and she's doing pretty well. Like I'm not needed, and it makes one tend to question themselves and like, damn, what good am I now if everybody's seemingly
yeah.
better off without me? It's a terrible
I
way to
get you.
think. Yeah.
I think it's a lot of things. I think that's also one of my main issues, especially the abandonment issue. The same. But honestly, I get why she is the way that she is. Like, imagine, man. Okay, you're like created for this reason to serve, right? And then you go against all of that. You defy this whole system that created you to serve them for one person. You go to war for them. You literally kill people for them. And they leave you for some hippie SoundCloud rapper that literally doesn't make it in life.
Dude's dad ain't no SoundCloud rapper, man.
I would like Renee, okay?
No, like that. What you call him, a SoundCloud rapper? Like that's just insulting. Like, dude's got a car. He's got his own business. He runs a car wash. He got a van. Put some respect on Greg Universe's name.
Homely is like literally a 6,000-year-old gem who's basically a knight. She's so cool. She's smart. She's organized. She knows how to fight. She knows how to throw hands. And sure, she got like a few kinks here and there. She doesn't understand boundaries, etc., etc. But everybody has their weak points. I mean, Greg has a few more than her, but like I don't know. I don't like Greg. He's a bit annoying.
Hey, like the man says, if every pork chop was perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
I mean, true, he does have that line. I like their relationship though. Like how now that Rose is gone and like Steven is there looking out for him, like Paul has like accepted Greg.
Rose was a big, big woman. I did not expect that. Like, when I first, like, all this time before, like, I saw what Rose looked like, I was just expecting, like, oh, like another gem. But, like, when we see, like, the footage that one prequel episode.
She was taller than all of them.
Dude, not only was she taller than them, she was bigger than all of them. Like, she wasn't even pregnant yet. She was just big.
But Rebecca Sugar, the creator, said that she wanted diverse body types, etc., etc. I think it's good. It fits Rose. Like I can't imagine Rose big thin.
No, I get that. I don't have a problem with her being big. I was just like, wow, she is big. Not only is she big, she's tall. She's hot.
I really like her though. She's cool. Well, I like her character design. I don't like her character. She's kind of the villain of the story when you think about it.
I disagree from what I've seen, but hey,
each has their...
How is she not the villain of the story?
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to be... Okay, like, let's look at it this way, right? She literally betrayed her home, you know, for a floating rock in space. She literally put so many gems and stuff in danger by starting that war because of a floating rock with meat sacks inhabiting it. When you really think about it, she has no loyalty.
To be fair, the same argument could be made about Superman, but when he pulls that shit, he's a hero. Just saying, the sexism is real around here.
Well, not really. Well, Rose wasn't. Okay, Superman, I would consider he grew up to be a human. That's all he knew. So he's a part of human culture. Like, it's kind of like with an adopted kid, you know? Like, I don't know, like an Asian kid is adopted by a white family. Like, it's pretty, they usually, you know, they born with certain tendencies and certain ideas based on race, etc. Like, they don't feel a connection to their culture, etc., etc. That's kind of like it, you know? He really had no connection to his home world, his home culture, etc., etc. He was, for all purposes, born and raised a human. So it's different. He has loyalties to Earth. Rose didn't have loyalties to Earth. She was a diamond at the end of the day. You know? Remember the time when, like, you know, all of these theories were out on the internet and they were like, is Rose really Pink Diamond? 100% she was. But, you know, it's mad to think that all of that's past now. But, like, I don't know, she's definitely the villain. And what she did to Pearl is unforgivable, man. What she did to a lot of people. She did bad to a lot of people when you think of it. To Steven, to Greg, to Amethyst and Garnet. They all suffered because she died. And she kept all of those secrets. I get that maybe she had, like, good intentions at the beginning. But no, she was very self-motivated. Very individualistic person. And okay, yes, that can be said for people like Pearl, etc., Garnet. They all had their own agendas in the war and why they chose to be on Earth's side. But I don't know, man. Like, when you look at it, they've moved past that. Like, Pearl is literally looking after a child that she hated at the beginning because not only was this a product of the love of her life and some dude named Greg, but this is the reason that Rose was dead now. But she still loves and cares for him. So does Garnet and Amethyst. So really, when you think about it, Rose is the villain, man.
Rose is a villain, not the villain. One could argue the damn diamonds are the real villain.
Okay, true. But she's one of the villains in the story.
In a sense. In an implicit way, an indirect way, not an explicit way like the rest of them.
I mean, true. You know what I would have really liked, though? If they did more on the pearls. Like, I don't know, like, you only see that one scene where you see, like, yellow and blue pearl. And obviously there's volleyball, but volleyball is, like, in a category of her own. Isn't she white diamonds, Pearl? I think so. But yeah.
You know what I
read a theory that said that
out of everybody in this whole thing, I mean, like, there's a lot of pain going around on this show, but the one person I felt sorry for the most was Lapis.
I love Lapis. Lapis was dealt a bad hand when you think about it. Shame. But I think Lapis is, I don't know, like, she was really dealt a bad hand in life, but she still, like, tried to protect the people that tried to protect her. You know what I mean? She's the definition of treat people how they treat you.
Except for that time she fused with that one big chick. I can't remember her name.
Jasper.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. turned into this
Well, she
monstrosity.
really didn't do it consent. Like, she didn't really consent to it. Well, she did kind of consent to it.
No,
but
you
she didn't
have
want to do it. She just did it.
The gems, like when they fuse, they explain that the two partners have to be in harmony with each other. You gotta, you have to want to do it.
And Lapis were not in harmony with each other. It was a bond created on hate.
Yeah, a shared, not a shared hatred in a sense, but not entirely. Like, it's like, yeah, we're both hitting the right moves and we're both syncing up, but it's like we are not compatible.
Yeah, but I mean, Malachite was kind of cool. I like how they create like new gems in the feuds, like, I think my favorite fusion, besides Garnet, I do like Sapphire and Ruby's little thing. But I think my favorite would have to be I like Opel, Pearl and Amethyst fusion, and I also like Rainbow Quartz, Pearl and Roses fusion. I don't really like
all of the fusions. I really did like Opel, because when you looked at her, she's just like really tall Pearl with extra arms and like amethyst. And also
lips. we got that iconic song, man.
Yeah, all you want to do is see you turn into a giant woman. Like, that was, yeah.
That was it, man. I loved it.
Like, when Steven sang that song, it was funny. It was a real funny song. Like, okay, this is a good song. But then, like, once the fighting was over and, like, Opel was looking down at Steven, he was looking at her like, do you still know who I am? Like, because he hadn't experienced a fusion before. I think in his head, he viewed it like, when they fuse, they become this whole other person. So he was curious, like, do you, like, know me right now? Like, do you still know who I am? Like, is Pearl and Amethyst still in there? And when she replied with that song, when she sang it in her voice, it was like, damn, can I get the full version of this version of the song? Because when Steven did it, it was funny. But, like, when she hit, like, her voice sang that song, that tenderness to it, it's like, yes, where is this song? Because it was just like the song that was playing in the end credits. Yeah.
Opal works more than Sugilite is because, like, I think that because Pearl and Amethyst are like complete opposites, they kind of like cancel each other out. You know what I mean? It's like just harmony in there. But like with Sugilite, both Garnet and Amethyst both have big rough personalities.
Yeah, when they fuse, like, you see like this fusion with this crazy hair and these big sunglasses, it's everything is just dialed up all the way. Like, how do I explain this?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because when you look at Opal, when you see she's more like a fantasy character, but when you look at like Garnet and Amethyst fusion, it's more like
a fantasy character, but she's more like an orc. And Opal is more like a high elf, you know?
I was gonna say it's more like a hard rock, but sure, like something out of a hair metal band, but okay. If that's how you want to put it.
Yeah. I don't really like sardonyx, though. I mean, she's cool, though. She's kind of funny.
The fusion of Pearl and Garnet.
That they use.
Yeah. You were saying?
Yeah. I like how they use that whole situation between Pearl and Garnet to like explain consent and the importance of boundaries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, people can really learn a lot from watching Steven Universe when you think about it.
Yeah, that was the relationship between that episode. Kind of like it made a rift between Garnet and Pearl. Like, when it was revealed, like, Pearl liked fusing so much that she actively made up reasons for them to do so, and like she was the one responsible for that thing that kept returning. So it's like, once she found out about it, like, Garnet got like really mad, and it was like, okay, like her, yeah.
I get sides though, because Pearl is like just a Pearl, as she says. You know how Pearls are like treated in gem society. So, like, I get that when she's sardonyx with Garnet, she feels like, she feels powerful. Especially because Garnet is a fusion already, so she feels even more powerful than if she were to fuse with Amethyst, for example.
Yeah.
But I get it that she feels like, she feels like she can do things now. She has that power. She doesn't have to rely on other people's strength, etc. But Pearl is a really good character when you think about it. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like what I really like about Steven Universe is that, like, they're not just like, oh, friendship is going to solve everything, etc., etc., like how some anime or some cartoons, like, they overdo that trope. All these characters have bad and good sides of them because they kind of like are made to represent the light and dark parts of humanity. But Rebecca Sugar really like popped off for creating Steven Universe. It was like really a good show.
Yeah. And it had some amazing
Too bad they
songs.
canceled it.
Those songs on that show were amazing. I'll give it that much.
100%. Shame. Did you know that Rebecca Sugar, the Steven Universe, and the creator of OKKO are married?
No, I did not know that, but it is.
Imagine that. Imagine creating a show about lesbian rocks who fall in love and do these badass things together and then marry a man.
So? I mean, the guy who directed Brokeback Mountain is a straight guy.
I mean, true.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it is an amazing show, Steven Universe. There's a lot to delve into, and it does, like, the Adventure Time thing of, okay, let's not just focus on the main character, let's, like, shine a light on some side characters here in a way that doesn't feel like filler or a bottle episode, but like an episode that actually, while it doesn't tie directly into the larger story, it does, add to it.
Sugar also worked on Adventure Time. She didn't exactly create Adventure Time, but she worked on it first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And obviously, Steven Universe was her baby. But I get where you're coming with that, because like in Adventure Time, it's always Finn and Jake that are like the main characters. And you get like a little sprinkle of like Bubblegum story, Marceline story. But the thing in Steven Universe is, yes, Steven is the main character, but you show how he grows and develops through the strength and the weaknesses of the characters around him, because they, through his relationships and experiences with them, that's how he learns and, grows and develops and finds out and discovers who he wants to be as a crystal gem, because I guess that, he's different. He wants to face his own identity that incorporates both his human side and his gem side. So it's a cool message, man. But Garnet is still the OG, man. I love Garnet.
Yeah. She's a pretty strong, well-written character.
Sapphire and Ruby. Especially when they split apart and they have their little fight. It's cool to watch.
That surprised me. But, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, full disclosure, like, there was a episode, like, because I didn't know that Garnet had 3 eyes. There was an episode where, like, her glasses got knocked off, and she, like, looked back towards the camera, and it was like, whoa, shit. Because not just that she had 3 eyes, but the look on her face when she looked back, it was like, oh, damn. This is, like, you have messed up. Like them glasses were keeping something at bay, and now it's like, oh, damn, man. Like, it was, 100%. Yeah.
But I definitely prefer Sapphire in that pairing. Ruby is a bit, but the rubies are the soldiers of like the gem kingdom. So I get that they like opposites. And Sapphire was kind of like, the IT guy in a way.
Yeah.
But it's cute, their little story, like how they just wanted to be together, and how like the gem society really doesn't respect fusions of people who choose to like live in fusions and create an identity in fusions. And I like that, they ran away and just created this identity for themselves. It's a great way to like describe relationships. And like I remember when Steve and Connie like fused for the first time, and
Yeah.
and like Garnet was like, you're not you're not one person, but you're also not separate people. This is an experience. Go out there and have fun. And she drops wisdom, man. Like that one time where Steven, like, I don't know, he wants to ask Connie out or something. This is like the older series. And she was like, what? Your partner isn't a missing piece. It's a complement. Just like how Sapphire and Ruby are separate people who have their separate lives, but they complement each other in the best ways.
It's a good thing to say that, because to say that your partner is a missing piece would to imply like, oh, this person coming into your life exists solely to make you whole. Like, it kind of robs them of agency for someone to say like, oh, this person was the missing piece in my life. It's like, like they exist solely to like add to you, but to say this person is a complement, it's complementary to both of you, because it's saying, yeah, I'm a whole person. I'm already full as an individual, but adding this other individual to my life has greatly improved like how whole my life already was, while like they, like me in their lives, also does the same thing, as opposed to that first phrase, which is just, oh, this person makes me a well-rounded person. Like, whether or not I do the same for them is irrelevant.
Yeah, it's a good message. Like Garnet really like throws down some wisdom sometimes. Like I remember that one episode of like when the male guy was like kind of in love with her, and she like rejected him, and he got all depressed and stuff. And she like sat down with him and explained that love at first sight doesn't exist. It's like it's a process of learning to trust and know each other and etc. etc. And it's like it's cool that she says that, because like she's like the ultimate love story. You know what I mean? Like Sapphire and Ruby basically like betrayed the entire gem kingdom so they can go to Earth and be together. Like they fought in a literal war against their homeland for their existence and identity. And like she still has like the gall to say, love at first sight doesn't exist, man. It's a partnership that is formed and maintained through years and years. So I think that's kind of cool. That even though she's like the ultimate love story, she's still realistic about these things, man.
Yeah.
Like imagine a kid watching this. I wonder if they'd like understand these things.
It would probably fly over their heads, but like at the same time, it doesn't matter, because this show works on whether you're a kid or an adult. If you're an adult, you can see all the hidden themes and like the good messages. Even if you're a kid, you may not see all this stuff, but you do get to at least enjoy like the action and like the fantastical characters in it.
Yeah. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, I loved how like to like get away from censorship, because like some people might like choose to put like a mustache on Ruby or etc. Like when they had their wedding, that they put Ruby, the traditionally masculine one, in a dress, and they put Sapphire, the traditionally feminine one, in a suit.
Why?
Yeah, to like escape censorship, because in some countries, obviously, homos, anything to do with the alphabet community is not allowed. So what they would do is they would CGI like masculine traits on the really masculine character, which is Ruby. So they would have put a mustache or something on her to show that she's a male. But to kind of combat that, Rebecca Sugar said, why does Ruby have to be the one to wear the suit in this wedding? Yes, Sapphire wear the dress 90% of the time, but for this she's gonna wear the suit, and Ruby is gonna wear the wedding dress. Because it would kind of look weird if they try to CGI a mustache or masculine traits on somebody wearing a wedding dress, then that would be a complete different message.
Yeah, that would definitely get banned, like, because they would like promote cross-dressing or something. But moving on to other things. What did you think of Peridot as a character?
Obviously, we all hated Peridot at the beginning. I think she made some real character development. Like, obviously, I hated the way she treated Paul. Like, even though, yes, she was, she was becoming a part of, like, the crystal gems, like their little group. She still held, like, like biases, etc., from her homeland. And I like that she showed a different side of, like we're always hearing about the war in pearls and garnets and amethyst point of view, and like you understand why it happened, but I also understand like Peridot's point of view and how she saw this as a betrayal. How could like fellow crystal gems betray their homeland and commit such treason and crimes? And according to her, Pink Diamond at that time was killed by the crystal gems. Like they didn't know that Rose Quartz was Pink Diamond at that point. So it was. I liked her as a character because they did use her to show like the differing point of view between the homeland gems and the crystal gems. And I don't know, I like her character development. She was a kind of a piece of shit at the beginning. She was biased. She was discriminative, but she really like she came into herself. She was still kind of a hard ass and a smart ass, etc., etc. But she became like a valuable member of the team. And like I like her and lapislazuli's cool dynamic because at the beginning they were all like, up in arms with each other because Lapis just came from this planet and she was still, working with Steven to warn him, etc. But I like Peridot as a character. She's cool.
Yeah.
And I like the actual crystal Peridot. So,
Peridot as a character, like her shift to like the good guys, because there was that. It kind of in some places it kind of reminded me of how Dragon Ball handled Vegeta becoming a good guy, but like differently because Vegeta in Dragon Ball became a good guy through the shared enemy more than anything. Like he's like, yeah, I really don't like Kakarot and his friends, but I hate Frieza even more. So for the time being, we're gonna like work together in this. I'm not gonna be a bad guy. I'm gonna be one of the good guys. Then when Frieza was done away with, it was like he kind of looked around and he was like, you know what? Life on this planet, it ain't so bad. The people on this planet ain't so bad. I still don't like this Kakarot dude, but like I'll stick around, like and be a good dude for the time being. With Peridot, it was like, yeah, I don't like Pearl, and I'm still kind of angry about like them deciding to turn on the other gems and everything. But like after spending enough time on Earth, spending time with Steven, when she had that big like blowout with that one diamond, she was like, yeah, I'm still loyal to the homeworld. But when Diamond told her that, I can't remember which Diamond, but like the Diamond she called told her, I want that planet to die. Like I don't care, like forget converting it to energy or whatever. Like I want to see it destroyed because it wasn't even because Peridot is a logical thinker. She can see like, yeah, like the gems are hiding here and what they did was messed up, but there is value on this planet. We can do something with this planet. And when that diamond said like, nah, forget that, just destroy it. Like I want that planet to die. Like there's no logic behind that. This is just, it's just a pure. It was out of spite. Like, and Peridot being a logical thinker, she can't vibe with that because there isn't much logic in doing something counterproductive to your mission purely based on spite for someone who's dead, mind you. So it's like, yeah.
I really like Peridot. She was a cool character. I also like how she just got shorter as the episodes went by.
Yeah.
As her character design. I don't really like her character design. I feel like they could have put more effort into what she looked like. But I guess, as you said, she's a practical, logical character, so she wouldn't see the point in roles and
looking nice.
I suppose that Pearl is also a logical, practical character. She's just like in a different font, you know. But like, I've been really warming up to Pearl, like rewatching this for some reason. I think it's because it has parallels to my own story.
When you look at the characters in terms of like their clothes, and you see a character like Pearl, she has these like light colors and kind of like, well, she's like fancy and elegant, but like minimalist in terms of appearance. And then you see like with Amethyst, like when you talk like minimalism, it's like she has like, you can't really describe that as like fashionable or like even like combat gear. It's more like, I don't know, loungewear. You know, like, cause, and it really fits the vibe, cause like, yeah, yeah. Oh.
Amethyst Loki looks like a hobo, so it's fine. She also looks like one.
Yeah,
I've seen her room.
It fits the vibe, like her character and the whole, like the way she dresses, like the top she wears just looks like a tank top. Like it just looks like she's wearing a tank top and sweats, you know. But when you look at Garnet, she actually has like proper like attire on, like, you know, I don't know, like she's ready for battle, or she's like, this attire has multiple uses to it. Like she can wear it when she's just chilling. It can work in a battle situation, and it looks good. Like, you know, it's very fitting in like Garnet. Everyone's clothes fit their vibe, because especially with Garnet, it's like, yeah, these clothes can be, you know, used in multiple situations, just as her level of wisdom and prowess can be applied in different kinds of situations, whether they be battle or just more social, you know?
Yeah. And I like how, like,
stabbed, but it's like, it wasn't like she was crushed under a boulder or something, because, you know, the way the gems work, as long as the gem itself isn't damaged, they can heal and repair. But like Pearl got stabbed, and then like she just poofed into the gem form. It's like, you think that would be done in like a day or something, right? Like, but this took a while. It's like to the point that the other gems were starting to get worried. That episode was that episode was weird too. I'll just say that. But aside from that,
like what big up a role like Paul played in Stephen's life as well. Yeah. As I said before, yes, all three of them, like, you know, they took responsibility for Stephen after Rose, you know, gave her life so he could exist. But Paul is definitely like the main motherly figure when you think about it.
Yeah, that's ironic almost, because of all of them, she's the one who likes being on Earth the least. But yeah.
Exactly, she has like the least reason to, because of like what happened. She really did love Rose. Like, if anything, I feel like, you know why I also think that Rose is kind of villainous in her own way is that she didn't love Greg because he was Greg. She was just fascinated by his humanity, and she fell in love with his humanity. But she didn't love Greg for Greg. You get what I mean? And I feel like the love that Pearl had for Rose was genuine love, like, you know, because she was Rose.
Yeah, but she could also be kind of bitchy at times. Like when Greg planned that whole thing, like he wanted to propose to Rose and marry her, and like Pearl caught wind of this, and she told Greg like straight up, like, you think this is love? Like, nah, like you're like she's just amused by you, man. Like you're like a pet, you know. No, when she gets,
that's true.
I know that, but like the way she said it was so like, for lack of a better word, she was so cunty about it. Like, you know, you're just a pet, man. Like she's gonna get bored of you, and then we're gonna move on.
I mean,
like,
it's true. It was true at the end of the day, but also I understand Paul's reaction to the whole thing. Like, imagine it. So imagine 6,000 years with this person, and you literally did everything for this person. and you form this bond because they were really close. That's the truth. That Rose relied on Pearl a lot during the war and during her her treason plots against the other diamonds and stuff. Pearl really was like the catalyst of it all. Without Pearl, it could not have been done. And yet, which made Greg finished. Pearl, your time is up now. So if anything, when you really think about it, it's like it took a lot for Pearl. She must have gone through like a lot to like come to a point where she cares so much for Steven. And I do think, yes, some of it has to do with her connection to Rose. That even though, yes, she was, she does have anger towards Rose for what she did, etc., etc. I think that, yes, she does love Steven because he's like the last connection to Rose. But I also think that, like during it, she loved Steven for Steven. So she had some major character development, like when Steven was born and as Steven was growing up. And that's why I think she's such a good character.
Yeah. It's emblematic of like what's going on with the show. Like family isn't necessarily the people you're born with. I mean, even though in this case Steven was born with the gems, like family can be like the people who like mean the most to you in your life, even if you're not related to them biologically,
And they also touched on that stuff. Like, remember when like Connie's mother wanted to meet like Steven's mom and dad, and she said, "Oh, Steven has a nuclear family to her mother and stuff." And I like how they spoke about like the concept of a blended family, and not every family looks the same, with a mom and a dad and their kids, etc., etc. That family is just a bunch of people who can be a bunch of people who just banded together to work together and support each other in each other's growth and development, etc., etc. And I think that was really cool, because not all families look the same. That look at you and me, for example. So it's nice that like the show did that to like make kids like feel seen, my family is valid, man. Because a lot of shows, when you think about it, a lot of cartoons, usually the characters and the main characters usually have a mom and a dad and all their siblings, etc., etc. And kids who might have like only one parent or even no parents, or some of them are raised by their grannies and aunties, etc., etc., might feel, I'm valid, man.
Yeah. Now that's how you do representation, like write it into a story in a way that makes sense and gives respect to the people being represented, but not in a way that you're like, look at us. We're representing this kind of people by having them in our show or movie. Look, see how inclusive we are? Like,
yeah, they're not. I like that they don't do the token character thing. Like everybody is just literally. It's all about the human experience, where they just like these characters are just people who are very utterly human.
Yeah.
And who encompass very human qualities, and that's just it. They're not trying to like highlight those certain qualities over others. It's just these people are existing, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because usually in shows they have like they have the token person of color or the token gay person, etc., etc. Kind of like in The Big Bang Theory. I always hated The Big Bang Theory for that, even though I like the show as a whole. Like when you really think about it, when you count the number of people of color, that like showed up, there's not many. You can literally count it on one hand. And Rajesh was the token person of color.
Yeah. The main thing with Big Bang Theory, like, I originally liked I had the same problem with Big Bang Theory that I had with Friends, because when I first watched Friends, beginning to end, like, I loved it, and it was like on TV. But then like they did this thing where, oh, it's been like X amount of years since Friends was last on TV. Like, we're gonna rerun the whole show, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. and I watched like episode after episode after episode, you start seeing stuff you didn't previously see, because before it was like week to week, and you'd forget things, or enough time would pass that you wouldn't notice things as much. But when you see things at one episode after another, you start picking up on things that aren't quite as positive as you once remember. Like with Big Bang Theory, the show seemed like it was like the main setup was like it was celebrating nerd culture and like the geeks and all that. But when you see episode after episode, you realize the show isn't celebrating geek culture, it's making fun of it. Like, damn, like more often than not, the guys, there would be the odd episode where they would be the one making the jokes, but more often than not, for the most part, they are the joke.
100%. Like, if any show actually celebrated geek culture, I would say it is Steven Universe. Because all of them are geeky in their own way when you think about it.
Yeah. And, you could look at it a different way and say, like, Steven Universe is basically an anime. It's not even beat around the bush. It's basically an anime.
Rebecca shook that it definitely was like inspired by a lot of anime that she watched as a kid, etc., etc. That's where she got like most of her tropes and plot themes, etc. from, and as well as character design. She said some of her characters, like Pearl and Garnet, were inspired by characters that were in animes that you watch, like Sailor Moon, etc., etc.
And you can tell, especially with concepts like the fusions and how like characters would transform when like they would transform and they'd emerge with new clothes or something. Plus the concept of the fusion. Mm-hmm. Granted, the idea of a fusion isn't solely an anime concept, but like it does hark back to like Dragon Ball when Vegeta and Goku would fuse. But yeah.
Yeah, but like also fusion is a kind of innuendo for like intimacy. Like I always saw it as that. Not exactly the big S word, but a form of intimacy between gems.
Because there's a dance beforehand, and the two partners need to be in sync with each other.
Consent.
Yeah. You do get forced fusions though, but those don't work out. They always create these like monstrous abominations. Yeah.
When Peridot was fusing gem fragments unwillingly to each other, and they created those like zombie abominations. I always thought of that as like a symbolism for rape in a way, because they, and the way Garnet like kind of like reacted to finding these beings was like, oh my gosh, like how could they do this to them,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose that's what I like about it, that you can like kind of just place your own meanings behind all of these little things in the show. It's cool. And that's why I think it's relevant regardless of whether you're an adult or a kid. If anything, more people should be watching Steven Universe. They'll learn a lot.
Yeah, it's relevant whether you're boy, girl, adult or kid, of the community or not. It can.
I once read this thing that said Rebecca Sugar said that yes, they use the word she a lot when talking about gems, but gems aren't really gender specific.
Except for the few that are. I mean, there are gems where it's clearly obvious, like, that's a dude.
Like who?
I don't know. There's... Oh, I'm not... There aren't gender specific, but, like, I would argue Jasper, but then again, there are those few moments where I'm like, I'm not so sure about that, but hey.
Yeah, this... Of course, I like that they make a distinction between gender identity and gender expression. Because, yes, while I think all gems as a whole are female, that they express in different ways. And that kind of makes them, like, gender non-specific. Like, Garnet, for example. Garnet is a pretty masculine character when you think about it.
Yeah.
compared to like amethyst and pearl. Like pearl is very feminine. Amethyst is also very feminine, but in a dark feminine kind of way.
In more of a tomboy sort of way.
Yeah. And garnet is just there like, this is my body. But you know, I don't mean to enhance any parts of it. I'm just wearing these clothes because they're convenient. Simple as that. And even like her counterparts, Sapphire and Ruby, they're both like, one is super feminine and one is super masculine. So they kind of like cancel each other out.
Except
but
when they
like
fuse, but yeah.
Jasper is kind of masculine. So is Yellow Diamond. Like all the rest of the diamonds are very feminine, except Yellow Diamond. You know, like when I watched Steven Universe at the same time, I was like, what do the diamonds even rule over? And then I realized it was color specific. Like
the different
all the,
gems
like,
mean something, yeah.
Diamonds went under Yellow Diamond, and all the pinkish crystals went under like Pink Diamond. It was very weird because like I was like, who rules all of these people?
It's not
and
one.
like
it's not like one. I like that it's not like one ruler in charge of every gem, but like all the gems or anything, because that would be like too simple, like too much of an oversimplification. Like there being multiple rulers makes more sense.
Yes, not all of them rule over like, you know, no one has like real power. They all like rule equally, but I think that White Diamond definitely has like some kind of influence over the rest of them.
Yeah.
And like Black Diamond is spoken about, even though we haven't ever seen her.
Definitely.
That kind of.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks though. They should have shown like. Cool.
Sometimes a character is more useful as just this verbal presence that's there off screen. That way, if you want them to be a threat, they can be, but they don't have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, but that she holds power over all of them. That's why she's like not there. She's MIA 90% of the time. But I don't know. I don't really like White Diamond, even though White Diamonds are like my birthstone.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like?